Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer, and we're returning to War in the East by Gary Grigsby. So last time, the first episode in this series, we did punch our way through the Soviet lines over here into Vishima with our, I think, 4th Panzer Group? 3rd Panzer Group. The light green troops over here. That's a fairly good success, but we've only made it like 70 kilometers in. So this time we want to have a look at our other panzer groups. The pink one down here and the cyan one down there. So in theory we could start with the pink ones, just punch through over here, just get this way around, maybe get towards Kaluga. That's our final goal. Ultimately, of course, Moscow, but I don't think we'll be getting there. So we want to encircle these forces down here, if at all possible. Now, there are multiple ways how we could approach this. This is a fairly strong unit at a defensive value of 10. And this is a river crossing, so I'm kind of loath to try and punch through here. Maybe we could try it down here, or even here, so that would maybe be enabling us to run a bit rampant in their backlines. I think I would prefer that. And the secondary reason for that is if we look a little bit further towards the south, I do smell an opportunity to trap all of these units if we get towards Orel, or at least towards this area where they have a couple of air bases and headquarter units and such. So maybe we're going to use the cyan ones to get over here, take the purple ones, punch through over here, and then somewhat opportunistically decide whether we're going to move south or north, or maybe even both. So yeah, let's see what we can do, and let's actually start with the cyan troops down here. But before we go into here, I think I want to bring down these units all the way here to the south, so that we can at least put up some defense. Although I think these guys here, so that is 2 divisions. So you know what, we might actually start with these 2 divisions. Bring you over here, and that should be fine. And you, sir, could go over there, and that will sort of form a very basic defensive line. And we're gonna get this headquarter here to move up a little bit closer towards them so that it can support these groups. And you know what? I think I'm very happy with this result. And the 2nd Panzer Group itself can probably move up a little bit. Guderian over here, moving up close towards its troop. He did like to lead from the front, so I think that's very appropriate here, and should be fine. You guys can sort of cover this area, so I'm fairly happy with this. So I think we can move more or less all of our mobile forces through over here. So let's take a brief look at the forts. There are level forts all over the level 1 forts all over the place. These guys here are fairly light in their defense. So do you want to punch through exactly along this railway line? We'd only have to deal with this guy over here. On the other hand, if we move over here, we would trap an additional unit. Maybe. Well, trap these 2 units at least. And that might not be too bad. So if we punch through over here, yeah, I think that's what we want to try then. And yeah, let's try to get going. So we're going to start with this motorized division. Don't really have any opportunity to move these guys in and have any attack left, no. Yeah, so we'll need to move with our fast units, but I think that's going to be alright. Let's see how well scouted out these guys are. Not that great. These guys here, on the other hand, are fairly well scouted out, so I think that's going to be alright. Okay, let's start out with the motorized division. It's going to attack the cavalry division. We are soundly beating them, and they are in fact being pushed back very, very fast, so that's great. See if we have similar luck over here. Not so much really, and they are holding. Let's follow up with an attack though. I'm feeling they might break soon. Yeah, that looks good. Fantastic. So I think that's a fairly good result, where we've pushed back these 2 units and we've established a little bit of a gap already here, which I appreciate a lot. So that's great. Over here, well, you can't attack. You've got 13 attack. Is that going to be enough against these units? I kind of doubt it. You have 30 unit movement points. If we move you up, you've got 23. On the other hand, we might just as well move you up over here as well immediately. 22, 27. Okay, let's take this unit up here, over here, and with these two guys, so with the GD, Motorized Regiment, don't know what, Gross Deutschland? I don't know. And the 3rd Panzer Division, we are gonna do a hasty attack over here. Yeah, very good, okay. Yeah, that was a strong attack over there, so we've beaten them very, very nicely, in fact. And so that's great. You have, in fact, advanced over there already. We could bring you guys here up and start to wreak some havoc on them. I think that might not be the worst idea. Okay, bring you up there. Try to push you back further. You've retreated, that's nice. And lovely. This is a guard division, which is why it's a little bit like dark red. Can we bring you up over here and start to attack this tank division? Yes, we can. Pushing them back further. We haven't really beaten them completely. That's okay. We do have further divisions, so let's bring up this motorized division. Could move you here. Over here you'd be losing a lot of movement points, so let's just take the direct line. Continue to push you back. You're routed now, that's good, so you're not hassling us anymore. So in fact we could even push up very, very far with this motorized division. Why not? So yeah, we'd be losing a little bit over here on the river crossing, which is to be expected. You've got 30 movement points. You could get up all the way over there, which I'm guessing is fine. I would really like to get close to Rel. We can move close to over here. All of these guys are still sort of locked by these motorized divisions. We can sort of get behind them. If we maybe get over here with you. We've also got these cavalry divisions here, which aren't the greatest. It's a very, very, very tiny division, but yeah, you could really run rampant there. Could we get you towards down here? We can. So that's nice. You are in fact directly reporting to the 2nd Army, are you? Well, that's odd. Okay, you guys have 3 divisions. Okay, so we're going to assign you here towards the 53rd Corps. Okay, 53rd Corps, L3. Yep, there we go. 0 admin points, because that's just putting you sort of on the level where you need to be. Bring you down here. And that should, I think, block them sufficiently so that we are not running into much trouble there. And you up over here. That's okay. And then these cavalry units really can sort of get... They have very tiny units. They are in fact only a third of a division. And sometimes you can break up units like that. Let's continue to push their defenses a little bit further away. Could try to get over here, cut their railway access, make it a little bit harder for them to resupply. I think that's what we're going to do. These cavalry divisions are not too important for me, to be honest. So I think it's appropriate just to use them to scout out the enemy, push them back when we can, and that should be fairly lovely. Okay, and this cavalry division, yeah, we just want to make their life a little bit more difficult. So, well, I think we'd probably want to prevent them from moving in over here, so let's just use that as a defensive measure over there. And that should be okay. Right, you can get over here. You can potentially get over there, yeah, that's fine. And then what I probably want you over here. Okay, that's great. So we're freeing up all of these units. This guy can get over here. That should get all of these guys into his movement range. Yeah, that's fine. Good. Okay, so let's start then. So we could push them back. 12. Yeah, I mean, if we are directly going up here, that might be the easiest. You need to deal with this security division because it's Or is it? Is it exerting a zone of control? Why are you not crossing into here, I wonder? Yeah, probably because that is the issue. Could get up all the way over here just with this motorized division. And you can get into here and potentially even attack. So you know what? We're going to do that. Bring you up over here. And we are capturing a couple of supply units just from displacing these airfields. Which is also good because they'll be able to render less supply towards the enemy. Okay, let's try to attack over here. You, can you attack? 10,000 men against 4,000. Yeah, we are soundly beating them. That is in fact very nice. I did even have some movement points left. Could get into the town. I think I want to displace this guy over here again. Plus, tanks aren't necessarily the best in towns. Well, this is not considered a city. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, keep on retreating. Can you attack? You can. So let's continue pushing against them. We're losing a couple of men and some tanks, which isn't great. Yeah. On the other hand, we are left a little bit hanging there, aren't we? So let's try to bring up our guys down here, the very furthest south. Yeah, okay, you get over here. But put against these guys, yeah. They are falling very quickly there, which is fantastic, of course. Okay, yeah. So we have very neatly beaten these guys over there. In fact, we could even think about trying to encircle them down here. Maybe. I'm thinking maybe. Okay, you guys are all of these guys up here, so that's you. You're fairly weak. But we could try to... Okay, yeah, let's get you back over here. Gonna displace that headquarter. That's okay. Another one over here. If we could beat these guys, we'd be saving a lot of movement points. Okay, you know what? Let's try. Have we got anyone over here who can do that? Okay, let's try with the 17th Tank Division. Yeah, not really. We've lost quite a substantial number of men, either wounded or otherwise. But let's try another follow-up attack. Yeah, not really. They are holding out very nicely. Well, we can't attack with you. We could attack with both of these guys at the same time. Let's try to bring up... You only have a 7, so that's not gonna work. You have a 15. You've got a 10. Okay, another time then. Yeah, there we go. Fantastic. Good stuff. Okay, yeah, that's fantastic. Very good. Okay, so you now can... barely get in further though. And that is mainly due to crossing the river. Well, and all of these guys. Well, again though, if we could kill this guy, we just might be able to. Yeah, not really. By far, actually. Okay, let's try with the tanks. Yeah, there we go. Push them back very nicely there, so now we can probably... Oh, come on. I want to take the motorized division and... So I could get them marginally further. Yeah, okay, that was pointless. You have a defensive value of 2 there, so... Probably not that wise to try and tackle you. Could try to attack across here and just cut these off in a mini engagement. Okay, let's nevertheless just try to establish our forces here in a way that will allow them to locate them in and allow us to advance further. Do we want to kick these guys back? How many of our guys have we left down here who would need to advance? Not that many, I believe. You are controlling these guys, you are in control of that, so that's okay. You are controlled by this gentleman here. This gentleman can potentially move up right into this position, so that leaves you to come up all the way over here, or even over there. Pressure these guys to go away. On the other hand, if we do get over here, we'd be preventing them from escaping a little bit more. Yeah, okay, let's get over here. Primary task is to get them to, or stop them from withdrawing. Okay, kick these guys out and end this airfield and be very close to this, and on the other side of the river, yeah, I think I like that. Plus there's a routing unit, so fantastic, good stuff there. Right, and then you... I could close the line there. Could also start to just wreak more havoc here. You are fine. Who are you? Okay, you are controlling these 3 units. Ah, that's a little bit awkward. Okay, let's get you towards all the way. Can you move up over here? You can, so they could then cross. But I think that would be very foolish of them. So let's move you up over there. You can... to their rear. Over here. Slightly concerned about this position then. Okay, let's be like this. This guy here needs to move up. I think it would be fine to... Usually you want to be at least 5 fields at around one of your units, but I think we will be alright there. Okay, you have these 2 units, I think we're going to move you up over here, just a little bit behind the enemy then. You are the 2nd Panzer Group itself, that's okay. You are part of this, you can potentially move up. You know, here, let's move you into here. And then we can move the 2nd Panzer Group itself over there as well. That's great. You are controlling which units? 3 units. Supposedly 1 over here, 1 over there, and 1 down here. That's the 24th. Okay, so that's 24th. So you here need to move up over there somewhere. And in fact you can move up very nicely towards over here, I think. Or even over there, or over here. Or get close towards Orel. Let's get Orel. It would be very nice to be able to take that town. Not quite able to do that, but I think that's okay. Right, and then you here can in fact move up towards over here. So lead from the front. And then we've got this unit left. We cannot make it to Orel. Huh. You could start to threaten this direction. Don't really see the point of that. I think we'll just make sure that these tanks here cannot cross. And we are securing our flanks a little bit better. It should be okay. Good. Right, any other headquarters? You are a headquarter, that's okay though. How about this guy over here? You are part of this, but there is an infantry division on your field, so I'm fairly fine with having you move out. Oh, you are sort of directly reporting to these guys. That is silly. That is absolutely silly though. You're directly reporting to the Panzer Group. As are, by the way, all of these cavalry divisions. Oh my. Yeah, no. That's pointless. Okay, so you here should report to one of these tank corps, but I don't know which one yet, at least. So, nevertheless, let's move you up first. Well, I think over here will be fine. Okay, let's get over here. Widely covering our flanks. Okay, and what have we got over here then? We've got the 24th, who's here commanded by Leo Guy from Traubenberg, who I think is pretty decent at least. So yeah, let's assign you towards the 24th then, and I think that should be fine. What? You are? No, this one, sorry. 24th, 24th, there we go. No admin points because it's putting you where you need to be, so that's great. Good stuff. Okay, so fairly good defensive line down here. Could be better, could be a little bit worse though. This is the 34th, and your units are down here, so that's okay. In fact, it's where I want you to be. This is defending all of these guys. You here can move up though, at least a little bit. And I don't think you need to be here really. If they decide to move out, then you know what would be my guess. So this is your headquarters. Let's move you up over here. We should, by the way, have a brief look here at the rail situation, and you can see, of course, the green and the red, but you can also see this white area, or this well, not white, but this lighter shaded area, is where our supply still reaches easily. This dark area here is where supply really doesn't reach that easily. So you can see a lot of the forces here of the second tank group, of the second panzer group, are now going to be out of supply at least for a little while, and that is not really something that I appreciate that much. Right, so we do need to punch a way through over here and be able to cut off these guys and make our way to Grad, whatever, and I think that would help us out tremendously. So yeah, and in that regard I think it might make sense to break through over here, and again that would allow us to come up this way, connect with the green ones, and or come down here and connect to the cyan one. So I think that's going to be great. We're going to use our infantry first to make the first push over here. First very successful push, as I might add, so that is very nice indeed there. Breaking these guys is the first step. I think breaking this guy over here is going to be the most difficult exercise, but let's start out over here and hope that this is going to be enough. 3-to-1 ratio. Yeah, that does lead to a more than 2-to-1 ratio, which means these guys are breaking, which is obviously good for us. Okay, so how about the situation down here? I probably want one unit on each of these tiles. Having one gap I think is fine. If these guys are surrounded anyway, they probably will not be able to make any breakthrough attempts. So I could potentially move away this guy here as well, maybe move him up. So in fact that could be okay. Nevertheless, probably move you up. Do we want to attack this guy? Probably not. He's well defended. So this way we have a very nice pattern down here. So if we do take one of these armored divisions, you could potentially see that it is easier now to come through over here. But we're still suffering from a very significant zone of control of either this guy or that guy down here, irrespective of where we go to. So we need to beat one of these guys. And right now I'm not sure which one. I think this one would be a little bit preferable, because that would mean we can come up here and then circle north as well. You guys are fine. You have 14 compared to 4. Has this guy been really spotted out? No. Okay, so what I want to do then is send a bombing force here. 8 bombers, that's not that much. They have lost 2 fighters actually, i.e. 16s, but not that much. They didn't lose that many forces, but I do hope that they are suffering at least a little bit from these types of attacks. Okay, let's try an attack over here. 29,000 men? Yeah, actually way overkill. So much the better, so that's great. But now, if we do take one of our tanks, you should see we are not suffering from the same zone of control issues. In fact, we'll be able to push through very, very nicely down there, and actually get very far into this area here. Which leads me to believe I should take these blue units here. And you can only move three points, but that does allow you to come down here. So that's great. You can then take the unit with 6 movement points. Move you up over here. Again, take the unit with 6 movement points here. You cannot go down there due to the zone of control of this guy. But you can secure our flanks. Don't think we'll be attacking this guy, but that's okay still. you here, you only have 2 units, so we can bring you in here. You have all of these guys under your control. Someone up here has these 2 units at the very least under their control. Let's move you into the hex with the unit, because that does expose you towards counterattack a little bit more. But I think all in all we'll be fine over there. And then you can in fact advance over there. Push back this headquarter unit, which is also very nice to see. Good, and that does nearly allow us to push down there. We have only very few steps. Okay, so we haven't quite closed the gap on them, and they might still be pushing through over here. It would be great if we could take them out over there. In fact, maybe even with one of our infantry units. Yeah, we can do that. Oh, this is also an urban tile, which would be really great to capture. Okay, so they now officially cut off now, but they might very well just brute force their way through over here. We don't really have enough forces down here to stop them from that completely. Of course, we could try to bring in some of our guys into these gaps over here. It would be nice, because cutting units off from supply is so great, but then again we want to do the same over here with all of these guys, and that is considerably more difficult, I believe. So yeah, we'll have to see. If we do get all of these guys to surrender, what we can do is just pull back a couple of our infantry guys over here. Just the front line can be a little bit thinner if we are happy with where we are, basically. So you should be able to move over here. We've got this corps covering all of this line, and then which one is that? That is the 9th Corps. So if you ignore the 9th Corps over here, that does leave 2 10 Corps guys, and you could potentially go down here. Although there are significant zone of control issues, and all of our forces are being piloted into here anyway, so that's maybe a little bit too much. Right. You are part of the 17th Corps with 3 units, including this SS unit down there and this tank unit. Who do you belong to? The 12th Corps, 2 units. Well, you're over here. Okay, and you've got also this unit. This unit will not be able to make it anywhere close to that. Only maybe over here. Which is good as well, but not quite as essential. Okay, let's get you towards sort of the middle between these 2 guys, so that you are controlling them. Have we got any significant infantry forces? No. Well, none that can go this far anyway. 35. So I'm looking for our sort of weakest forces to at least plunge the gap over there. Could try to beat back these tanks, or these tanks in fact, which wouldn't be bad for our ability to just come through this location. Although I'm kind of reluctant to push. Well, maybe if you go here. Yeah, I think that might not be bad. Okay, so we're going to bring in our motorized unit over here. Try to attack these tanks. Succeed. They are retreating. Good. And then in fact what we might want to do is get over here. And that, I think, will make it much more difficult for them to break out. You can see a lot of population from here is evacuating. That's okay. Don't really need them. Could attack again into here. But with the zone of control from us now, I think it will be very hard for them to break out in any way whatsoever. Okay, you can stay here. Okay, and you are part of this corps. But I think it might make more sense to bring up these tanks and not attack into here, but rather go north. 18 points, you've got 15 points over here. These guys are very tough. I don't think we'll be able to break them. Capturing a bit of fuel, that's nice. Not that critical though. Okay, we can move up very far over here. So let's try to do that anyway. Kicking back all of these guys, that's fantastic. Yeah, let's just expand our way into over here. Though on the other hand, I do like to keep my forces somewhat close to their respective core headquarters, so maybe you want to be a little bit further towards the south. The 4th Panzer Group itself, I think it's fair for you to come up this way. And we've got these units, although maybe we're just going to forsake these guys there, sort of towards their fate, and bring up our units here. Oh, you can even come this way. Oh, well, that's interesting. Interesting. Have we got any other units that could potentially go this far? You're also part of this group. Okay, these tanks here. Let's bring you up here. You are part of this headquarter, which I think we'll be able to bring over here as well. And these two guys are part of their headquarters as well. Ah, but these tanks cannot go this far. They can get over here though. So that's fair enough. In fact, we might want to bring our headquarters down here into this unit then. At least it's a little bit closer towards this motorized, this infantry unit. Which is a little bit weirdly down here. Okay, but let's move you up that way. And then I think we can consecutively start to pull off forces from over here and start to bring them in there. That should be good. Okay, the 35. Yeah, that's nice. Ah, that's fantastic. This is fantastic. Let's bring you over here. Nice, very nice. If you get over there, will you be able to come back? I don't think so. It would be nice to kick these guys out of there. Okay, so motorized division. Let's bring you... Do we want to bring you into here? Maybe at least into here? We could advance further towards Moscow. Ooh, this is tempting. But we do need to close this gap. And there are a lot of forces left over here. Or rather, not that many forces. Okay, you are part of this. Okay, over there. And we've got the Das Reich division. You really don't have any movement points. You don't have any movement points. It's a little bit bad then when there's a headquarter unit on another unit's tile. And that's always a little bit annoying. Okay, so you guys are all fine. But you guys probably want to cover that area a little bit more. Okay, so if I take you, you can get over here, and that's nice. Good. You guys can all get at least towards over here. I can probably move you out. Start to get you a bit more towards the front. And replace you by this gentleman. Wait a minute. Who are you part of? Part of the 7th Corps. You are part of this 22nd. Okay, let's bring you here. So these two guys are part of the same corps. That's the 22nd. It's always a little bit of a hassle too, to just keep up everyone together. No, sorry, the 20th. You're part down here. That's fine. You have these two units. No, you have a 3rd unit which is up here. That's you. Okay, you are here. Fine, fantastic. Good. You can move out. The blue units are covering that. Great. So, over here then, you are all 7th Corps, which is this division, and there's another one. Wait a minute, you? I thought you belonged to... Oh, damn it. This unit. Oh, damn it, I should have gotten you here. Okay, that's fine. Do that anyway. And you all come up down here. It's going to leave a little bit of a gap here. But I don't think that's going to be catastrophic. Well, maybe let's leave one, the weakest guy over here. And all of the other ones are going to move up here. In fact, you might be able to move up even further. Maybe even all the way over here. Good. Okay, that's fine. You then should potentially move up down here. So yeah, you're close towards the center of gravity of your forces. And this is just the railroad guy. So you guys need to come up over here. Safeguard against them breaking out. Yeah, that's fine. I would like to put more units here, but we just don't have any, so it's gonna have to do. Okay, can you really not move any further? Yeah, you can. You can do that. You're fine, you're fine, you have 2, you have 3. All of these movement points look fine to me. You can potentially get further towards the front. I think down here is fine. Just move up the airfields a little bit, so that we have a little bit more control there. And these are all just headquarter units that you're stuck together with, so that's okay. Would be lovely to put something up here, but again, we just don't have anything. Yeah, we are stretched very thinly over here. I think it's great because we do have some pockets, even in the first turn. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty much what we are doing over here. So let's briefly look at all of the other armies. We've got 16th Army over here with a single corps. That's just the 2nd Corps guarding against this line. I think that's fine. Pretty much our railhead is over here somewhere, so you're nearly out of supply, and you just have infantry up here, so I don't think there'll be any use for that. Pull back our security forces towards over here, so that our guys there are covered. And I think what I want to do is pull this army here a little bit further towards the south, just so that you're a little bit easier to be supplied. And we're going to move the... Is this Lightwoods? Yeah, it's Lightwoods. Move the airfield up over there as well. I think you're fine where you are. These green units do seem to be okay. You're sort of guarding against these guys. We've got this army unit, which is also covering these units down there, at least supposedly. So it might be better to move you up a little bit towards maybe this town. Yeah, so you are sort of in the middle where you need to be, and that's okay. We've got the 3rd Panzer Group itself. So this corps has these 3 units, that's perfectly fine. You are covering all of these guys up here. Let's move you up a little bit closer towards the front then. You guys here are one of these. Okay, you are on that one. You are the 16th. So the 5th Corps has its units pretty much down here. Wait a minute. Okay, you are over here. Mostly, actually. So the 16th should potentially move up all the way over here. Just so it's covering most of the units that it's really dealing with. And you are in fact covering these, so that's okay, you're fine where you are. And then these units here are a little bit messy. You are fine all. You all are fine. Can you move up a little bit more? Yeah, you can. So that's at least nice, because that means we can move through there. And I would appreciate that. Good. Okay, so you're done there. Can you move up further? I don't think so. Yeah, no, the woods are preventing that. So that's okay then. You can move up. Let's do so. These corps are just down there. These are over here. Move you up into there. That should be okay. So you have a little bit easier time to support them as well. We've got the 4th Army. Most of you guys are further down towards the south compared to where you are now. So let's actually bring you towards this base over here, so you have a little bit better control there. And you know what, airfield, the personal airfield, is going to come along with you. So that's cool. All of these guys we have dealt with already, except for maybe some headquarters. You're the second army. You are dealing with a fairly wide range of things. I think we're going to bring you in over here towards this town. It's just mostly role-playing, there's no purpose behind that, but yeah. Other than that, everyone seems to be fine. So let's see how well we are going to progress over here. If we do turn off the things over here, you can see it's sort of, we are grinded into each other, and we have this weird double envelope over here, which hopefully we'll be able to break through next turn. Before the next episode, I'm probably going to move up. Oh, can I undo that move? Because I probably want to move you via rail. Yeah, I could move you up all the way over there. So you are an SS cavalry. You're not very strong, but you might be nice in just exploiting things. So yeah, let's bring you up over here and move you normally from here. And at least you'll be able to make some headway into here. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so in between episodes, I'll just be moving up a couple of these airfields. Probably going to move up some headquarter units a little bit closer towards their respective subordinates. And then I'm going to hit the next turn button the next time when I do see you around. So do leave a like and all of that, and I do look forward to then. Bye bye, guys.